Greetings, weary travelers, come, warm yourself by the fire, and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, tales supported by Bethesda, and tales of Tamriel. I'm your host, Arkhaniir Silver Shield, and I'm joined by, in person, this time, the man, the myth, the legend himself, sitting right next to me, Lotus of Doom. How's it going, Lotus?
This is surreal.
Yes, yeah.
This is so weird that after all these years, we now get to record in person.
I know.
And you kind of jokingly mentioned it, but like, huge shout out. This actually is like sponsored by Bethesda. The only reason I could come here is due to them. So thanks a lot to Bethesda, Microsoft, ZeniMax, and Yellow Pike Media for getting me out here. Amsterdam has been like incredible, and we finally get to meet after almost a decade ourselves.
Yeah. Like, I mean, just 7, I think, years of podcast. We have done like over 200 episodes of podcasts together.
I believe you've done more shows than any other host at this point on the show, and I think I've now sealed second place. So like you and I have literally, and neither of us founded the show to start with.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is wild.
And so we've been at the ESO 10-year anniversary event in Amsterdam, along with everyone in the community. It's been absolutely insane. We are going to talk about it. We don't know how much time we have, but we are sitting right now, and that's good because legs are,
Yeah, I think today was today 8 or 9 hours?
I don't know.
I think today was 8 hours. Yesterday was 11.
Yeah.
Like, so... Yeah, 20 hours of standing in 2 days. That's great. That's great. Great. Not to mention actually walking around the city and stuff. So yeah.
So it's good. We are sitting right now. We are actually in Lotus's hotel room because we wanted to record at the event venue. However, it's just loud, crowded, and every time it kind of like towards the end of the event, it got quiet. They just ushered everyone out anyway.
Yeah, they were like, all right, it's time to go. You've lingered long enough.
The event venue was like, this is the agreed time.
Yeah,
you leave that.
Enough is enough. Please leave, giant nerds.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic.
This has been. We're going to do our best to describe this event, but this has been ridiculous. It has been so much fun, and it's. For anybody who's been to the other events, this is like so much bigger than them, which is even weirder from like Vegas or Bethesda Game Days or the Tavern.
ESO Tavern,
yeah. It's like it's wild how packed this was. And the venue is huge. For anybody that was at Vegas, it's essentially 3 times the size of that. Like, they built a medieval village.
It was insane. Like, the whole decoration, the whole thing was immersive. It's other than the screens that we had, everything else was, I mean, we had knights in full plate armor. Legit full plate armor. I'm not talking cosplay.
Yeah, this is not...
Actual fully armored people and an arena beating the hell out of each other.
We should start with that because that is like unbelievable. Like the night thing, you actually might hear it on any of the clips that you see like from the actual official event, because it was hard to not hear them because they were literally beating the shit out of each other like nonstop. They would take breaks every couple of hours to rehydrate and eat. And like they would put their armor right back on and go right back in, and just they were all in on these things, straight up fist fighting, hitting each other with weapons. And when one of them would look the other way, another one would come by and like leg sweep him through like a barricade.
Surprise attack and everything. If someone was grappling with another, the other teammate of the other was just like gets to the side and starts hammering the other dude in the head. And you could hear it throughout the entire venue. It's one of the reasons why we couldn't record. Because it's just this hammering sound in the background.
Those dudes were like jacked because they obviously do this all day. But 2, when they took off their gear to like go get food, they had like black eyes and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are going as hard as it seems like they're going, because they look like they've been in a fight.
Yeah, I didn't like, when I first saw it, I thought like, I mean, they must be getting hurt, but it's all the armor. And then when I saw them outside the armor, it was, they are getting hurt.
It's like, oh no, you guys are really busting each other up. It's like an MMA fight, except you're in tank gear.
Yeah. I would immediately get folded if I tried that. No one needs to hit me. You put that armar on me, I'm getting crushed. but it was the closest thing to how I imagine Nords are having fun.
Yeah, that
Like,
seems on brand.
yeah.
That seems on brand.
It's actually like I used to say that we get rid of Almir Dominion with Daggerfall, like Ebonheart Pact and Daggerfall joins forces.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
then Orcs and Nords just
yeah.
constantly beat the shit out of each other for fun.
Those are the victory fights.
And peace is made.
Yeah.
And I think that's what would have witnessed if that happened. It was great. We had all these crafting stations.
Yeah, so in the village, because that's really what we have to refer to it as, there are actual, like, there are street signs directing you because it's so big. And they're done like the Morrowind signs or like, it's so cool the way they did it. And there's fake foliage inside and you go back toward the area and it's literally a crafting common, which is like, oh, this is where we do our writs.
It's like Vivek City where everything is together.
Yeah, it's a very organized area to do your writs, so that was well thought out by the devs to have a writ zone.
And we did our writs.
We did our writs. We did as many writs as we could do.
Yeah.
There was some
complications
issues,
on day 2.
with the and so many people wanted to do them, and I think as people were like, oh, this is super fun, more people then wanted to do them, so it was just a disaster.
I mean, like, initially, I didn't really... I was like, whatever. Like, I'm here to meet people. I'm not going to spend time on the stuff. And then you showed me the leather chain made.
Yeah, we've got one there, one here. Yeah, so we had leather working. So here was our clothier. And we got to make Elder Scrolls keychains.
Actually, maybe I can.
Yeah, you can actually bring it right
I don't
up.
know because I can't see the screen right now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Maybe this works. I don't know.
Hopefully.
I could have flipped the screen to our side. Actually, you know what? Hold on.
Yeah, there you go.
Since we are doing this.
Yeah.
And this is the first time Tales is being recorded with like a camera and everything.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Might as well.
That's way more useful to actually have smart
straps and whatnot on it.
Yeah, whatever. We got the idea. But yeah, the leatherworking thing was super neat. And then you got to like engrave it, which was fun. Which was all the hammering that everybody had was...
Yeah. After all the time in the event, I was still getting confused. Like, out of nowhere, you start hearing like... Boosh, 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 boosh.
It's like...
And that's people engraving on the leather. Because you put like a... raised lettering on it, and then you put like a pillar on it, and then you just
slam the thing into it to physically warp it around it. But that one was really fun.
That was actually, we can give them a shout out too. That was from Leatherlands.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like Netherlands, but it's Leatherlands.
Yes. Clever name. Also super nice and really good at explaining what we were supposed to do.
They were like super nice because I struggle with some of the stuff because it's so small I can't see what I'm looking at.
Sure.
And they were like super helpful, super nice about it with everyone. Yep. They were very wholesome.
I had a problem. I couldn't get one of my sides to cut, and I'm like, "Am I doing this wrong?" And they're like, "Oh, your blade's dull." So they like flipped it out. I was like, "Oh, I didn't want to say that." They're like, "No, that's totally dull. Like that's the one that's obviously been used a lot today." Yeah. So they gave me a new one and fixed it super quick. But yeah, super nice people, and that was a lot of fun to do. Neither of us got to do calligraphy because it didn't work. I missed my first session because I lost track of time, which I felt bad. Somebody got my spot, so I'm glad that they did. But then today with day 2, it was kind of a disaster trying to get into line and everything like that. And I just was like, yeah, all right, pass, I guess. I'm not gonna make it. But I did see like some people that did them. Ninja614 had his. He wrote his name in Daedric and stuff. That looked pretty neat. But yeah, I think
Gwen did Lore Seekers.
Yes,
she put it on Twitter
yes.
For people to translate, basically.
So check out Gwen the Bard's thing. Hers a good interpretation of exactly what we were doing. That one was fun. The one we both also did.
The alchemy.
Yeah, the alchemy one where we made heroism potions, which was really fun and kind of messy. These were really neat. Other than they look super cool, and I hope I can get mine through customs to get back into the US.
I don't know. Oh, you did yours top cleaner.
Like, I did. You did yours oozed over, and I just did one mark on the top, and I did a clean one so that it pops off like a top. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, so I was gonna say you can zoom one of them in.
So it has this coin on it, and then if you shake it, it gets this gorgeous like color, or not even color, but like all the patterns and everything.
Yeah,
And it has the stamp on it. It's all like we actually made this. Like we got the materials, the liquids, the wax, like melted wax.
So on that note, with that one, it was really funny because with those, one, they really couldn't stress enough, please don't drink the heroism pot.
She was very
adamant. Please do not drink the heroism pot. It is not for consumption. But one of the things I thought was really funny, because I was like, man, you were talking about like dedication to like detail. They actually had, like, when she was explaining what to mix, it was the actual ingredients for making a heroism pot in game. I was like, that's attention to detail. That's pretty cool. I like that.
What it was? Dragon Bile?
Dragon Blood, Dragon Room.
Right.
And Columbine or whatever.
Columbine or Tears of something?
Oh, yeah. It might. I don't know. Something I say like this as if I make these, and I don't, because I'm cheap. I just sell them.
I didn't even know people were using major heroism potions. I'm still on tripods. I never moved away from tripods as a tank.
Pretend whatever we just said was the actual ones, because it's. I know Dragon Blood and Room were part of it, so then we have the third one. But I don't use them either.
One thing, I can't edit the audio and then make it like we said the right thing.
Yeah, no,
because it's all
fine.
media now.
Yeah, it's just one and done. So
not that I do it all the time.
No, we just edit out some of. Well, we don't even edit out the rants.
No, what I edit, like, if we slip out, like, personal info or stuff, that I edit shit.
Yeah, that would be. We'll just put in a joke scene missing if that happens. But yeah, no.
My home address is.
Yeah, here's my social security number. So yeah, that one was really fun. The other events were just like, there was axe throwing.
I didn't get to do it. Like, I had a chance at the very beginning of today, but my alchemy thing was in 10 minutes. I was like, I'll get something memorable from the alchemy.
Axe throwing.
I might kill myself while throwing an axe.
A lot of people were concerned about death via axe.
Yeah, I weighted it and I was like, alchemy is the safer bet.
I actually go axe throwing sometimes. They have them by my place. So that's why I was like, these are fun, but it's not something I can't do.
Yeah.
And then, what was it? There was brushes and brews, which I also didn't do. For future reference, they might want to maybe give a disclaimer on that one, because it's a full painting shop.
So I thought when they said, because the name says brushes and brews, and you don't see it, like everything else, you see what people are doing.
Yeah.
The queue for this one is outside a room.
Yeah.
I thought they were just making alcohol or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't drink, so if I make an alcohol, what am I going to do with it?
Right. Exactly. And I was just kind of like, I'll see if I get to it. And then someone came out, and I actually believe it was Nolelligan that came out with hers, and she was like, this is what I painted. I was like, oh, wow. And Hircine showed me his as well. And I was like, these are like really nice. They were like, yeah, we didn't know it was a 2-hour session, though. I'm like,
yeah, but it makes sense. Because the things they painted.
It totally does. But if you signed up for that and anything else, 2 hours is a long portion of the event. Yeah. So I was like, that probably would have been useful to know. Also, it turns out Wheeler is an artistic savant, because all of his paintings, he did several, are absolutely unbelievable.
Every time I see someone's carrying a painting, mostly Lolly.
Yeah.
I see someone like, did you make that? And it's like, no, Brian did.
No, Brian did.
And then I see another painting, it's like, no, Brian did.
Yeah, how many did he make?
Scenes, one has a dragon and a windmill and all those things.
The other one's Hermes Mora, over the countryside. I'm like, what is this?
He doesn't just do combat.
Yeah, apparently not. So that was another one that looked pretty cool. There was the tavern itself off to the side, which was kind of interesting. Yeah. They had a sign up for it, or you could cheese your way in if you knew what to do. But the problem was, it was super comfy and relaxed and looked awesome in there.
It was always packed.
So everybody always was hanging out in there, and it was just completely unusable if you weren't already there.
And you could only go in there with I guess you could if you sign up for it, but otherwise you would need, you either need the VIP or the pay to win.
The little star badge doohickey.
Yeah, or my pay to win ticket.
Yes. Well, and then we got those as well. Yes. Which we'll start with mine, which I posted. Looked really cool. Big fan of it. It's got the gold emblem thing. It has my name on it. It was really cool. little gift thing that was given to
I
me.
was very jealous of it when people started posting that.
Yeah.
It's like 10-year anniversary, the pin, like massive pin made of metal. It looks super cool. And I was like, oh man, we'll probably get just a lanyard.
Yeah.
Just like a badge, plastic badge or something. And then I get to the event and they whip out this thing for us.
You get your alliance of choice.
Alliance of choice. A massive metal pin. And I was like, you know what? I'm happy with this. This is okay.
So that is... We were very confused at first. We were like, why did we fill out our alliance of choice? Like, what does it matter? And some of the people were like, yeah, I thought they were supposed to be alliance-based. And it turned out that they gave us custom ones when we were invited to the, media version. And then, Gen Pop got to have really cool alliance. I was like, talk about a double-edged sword on that one. I was like, I'm certainly not going to complain about anything, but God damn, those are cool looking.
Yeah, they are. Like, my jealousy of the VIP badges went away once I got
real
this.
quick,
It was like,
never mind.
Like, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, so those ones are really cool. And man, they really seemed like they just created enough for everybody that was there.
Yeah.
Which they're not cheap. These are...
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
these are pretty elaborate.
To order,
yeah, these are pretty elaborate, so I'm not completely surprised.
Oh, it's a wavy.
Yeah, it really does. I had to take my metal off because I was like, I'm not carrying that around all day.
It didn't even occur to me to do that.
To disconnect it. Yeah. Geez, there's so much stuff that has happened.
It's been an insane 2 days.
Yeah, we are going to forget stuff. This is just the stuff that we remember. There'll be more going forward.
Yeah, we'll do an actual normal episode once we are back at our homes.
Yeah.
And
Also, we can also discuss the dungeons and stuff when we get back because we haven't had.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
I haven't given my PAX East update yet because we immediately came to this.
Yeah,
so it was like,
and I'm back in it. I've done the dungeons actually.
Yeah, so it's like we can. So that's all coming next episode.
Yeah,
this is just the ESO10 extravaganza,
and the fact that we are together and recording an episode in person. It's
probably potentially once in a lifetime thing. We'll see.
Honestly, after today, I am very responsible with how I spend my money. Like every time I spend
These don't help with that.
Yeah, every time I spend it, I feel super bad. After today, I feel like I'm just gonna spend a lot of money for every future event and be like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like what? That was so much fun.
I don't need to put money down for an apartment.
Yeah,
I don't care if I upgrade. It's okay. I don't need a new GPU. 2070S still going strong.
Perfect. It's not on fire. It's working.
Exactly. So honestly, ESO Vegas 2025.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a year and a half, which is enough time for a visa.
It actually, now that I'm thinking of it, so the ESO next year one for 2025, the one in America, I think it's in DC, so it's actually closer.
How's where do they do it normally? In Vegas.
So the Vegas one is in DC, I believe.
I mean, the distance is not the issue. It's getting any portion of US is very
lock and
away.
key.
It's like 16-hour flight for
correct.
Me, so.
Well, so for me, Vegas is 6 hours.
Oh God! So okay.
Yeah, the United States never ends; it just keeps going.
That might be 20 hours for me if I tried to fly to Vegas.
Yeah, I think it might be 5 hours, but basically, it's almost as long to get to Amsterdam as it is for me to get to Vegas.
There were actually people who flew in from Australia for this, and they mentioned 24-hour flight.
Yep.
24-hour flight.
That's gonna be it. That's gonna be a no from me, dog.
And I was like, because it takes me 4.5 hours total flight time to get here because Izmir to Istanbul, Istanbul to Netherlands.
Yep.
And then 9 hours total travel time because you get to the airport early, you lay over, stuff like that. 24 hours, that's...
brutal.
I mean, to be honest, I would do it.
Sure.
Knowing that this event is like this.
Yeah, that it's this much fun. But which is why I think some of them have done it. Like Radcore has been to a couple. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why they were dedicated to no, I'm coming. I'm down. It's makes sense.
Yeah. But honestly, we've seen so many people. Everyone was there. I mean,
yeah, it's just
Pylon was there. Let's start with Pylon.
Sure.
If we could have recorded at the venue, Pylon was.
We were gonna have Pylon join us if we were at the venue. Pylon, ironically, was there on work.
Yeah, he was representing Alienware because they were a sponsor of the event.
Yeah, so all the computers at the event were Alienware products. So he was sent as a representative of Alienware, which was funny because when I had my initial media session where I got to play, and they gave us like an hour and a half to have a roundtable and to play some. There's a big thing where we can't show you literal like our recorded footage of the game because it's all like probably alpha level at this point. I mean, and the build.
Not Rich. Finn mentioned several times when you were all doing the trial. Is that it's like a month?
It's like a month old.
Yeah.
So. The build is obviously very much in progress for Gold Road, but we got to see a lot of the stuff that's like good concepts that they've like ironed out and things like that. But there was a strict like no filming the screens thing, and it was funny because while I was in my playtest, Pylon was like, "Oh, I'll use Lotus since I know him as here's my proof to send back to my bosses. Here are the Alienware products. They're working as we intended. Everything's going good."
Oh, you should have just sneakily Alt F4'd and be like,
it broke.
Like,
It broke. Dude, come on. Like, but so he came over to film the stuff, and they're like, no, you can't film. He's like, I literally have to. That's why they sent me. I'm with Alienware. They're like, oh, I guess you do have to film. They're like, can you not get the screen? And he's like, yeah, I'm not going for the screen. He's like, I just know him, so I know he will move around the thing. They're like,
you could have just like get to like an empty lap.
But they were so freaked out that they thought he was recording the stuff. And then he was like, no, that's why I was sent. He's like, they're like, okay, that's why you're here. It was just really funny. The interaction went from sheer panic on their part to like, oh, no, that's fine. That's cool. Yeah, no big deal.
I mean, Finn made Nephis like turn down his shoulder camera.
Well, Nephis had been streaming like nonstop, and there were several points where he forgot he was streaming because he would because didn't he harpoon you in the throat with it when he gave you a hug?
By the camera in the throat
because he kept forgetting it was there and on, and it was like, oops.
we went in for a hug, and like it was right in my throat level. And I just like got the lens like slammed in. I go, what did I just hit? Like, and it's a pretty cool thing.
It's a cool setup he has.
Because the one thing, like, I brought this camera, but I didn't record much footage with it because it's like you have to hold it in front of you, and then it's like then I don't see
what you're doing.
Thing. I'm missing the thing, and I don't like missing stuff to record stuff. But with a shoulder camera like that,
it's
you can just like forget it.
It just sees what he sees.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yep.
So if you're looking for like the best first-person view of the event, find Nephis's video.
Yes.
I would assume it's going to be on YouTube. So.
I assume he'll probably just upload the entire thing to YouTube in chunks.
It's like it's going to be full first person, or rather shoulder person.
Shoulder person.
And you'll probably see a bunch of people get throat punched by that camera.
Without a doubt.
Zoom into the camera.
He should just make a montage of that.
Yeah.
The amount of throat punches. I guess, so like on the idea of the computer portion and like what we got to see from Gold Road, everybody got to see the actual like presentation. And if you didn't, you can totally check that out on the actual like their Twitch, their YouTube, whatever, Elder Scrolls. Yeah, it's probably just on their webpage as well. But in that computer setup thing they had, thanks to 8 Puppies and his organization skills, with the help of Gina, we had been trying, like he really wanted to get us in a trial group, which was like our project for Media Day, but we miscalculated time a bit. So we're like, crap, it didn't work. But then like they had the playtesting that everybody could sign up for, like a 20-minute thing where you play Elder Scrolls. You didn't even do it because it was like...
Yeah, the line, like I signed up, and then once the sign up things got messed up, I'm like, I'm just going to spend time with people rather than stay in a line.
Yeah, and you're going to play it in 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, at the end of the whole like thing, Gina, I guess, relayed the message that a group of people are going to run the trial for everybody. So 8 managed to get a group of us where we were not hyper coordinated, but like he wanted to make sure that people were very comfortable with trials and ideally even in many cases trifectas.
Yeah.
And we were going to try to do it on vet, and we're like, in the sake of time, maybe we should just do it on normal to see it. Because Finn keeps saying final boss in quotes, and I don't know what that means.
And the thing is, like, when he says like he wanted people to be very familiar with trial trifectas and stuff, The team was Solotus, Nephis, 8 Puppies, Skinny Cheeks.
Olabo.
Olibo, yeah.
Khan from Ninja Poles. I'm trying to think.
Ninja was about to join, and then I saw him.
Ninja was about to join, and then he was joking that, I guess I didn't make the cut because I'm too old. But there was like Lucht was on there. There was like a full
It's like ESO's top tier players.
And it was funny
when
though,
it comes to trials at least.
Well, and then we did have a couple we had some PvP involved. Like Pain in the Axe was in the group. And it was funny because Pain in the Axe is a beast in PvP. Trials aren't as much his thing. Yeah. But it's funny because it's like, okay, he knows what he's doing, so like bring him. So it was a pretty decent stacked setup. Yeah. But we didn't know anything, and nobody honestly knows anything that's not on the dev team because there are no guides for something that hasn't come out yet and nobody's seen outside the dev team. So we were like, we'll just do it on normal in the sense of time. Also, Finn did caveat that he was like, this isn't balanced. Like, we don't know, we've designed this, but this is not play tested yet. Like this
is how I see it. This is Finn's original vision that you play.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Because on normal with the team of people that we went in, and granted it was loud, but that's not like an excuse. We blowing through the trash and everything, and we get to the first boss. And we're not going to spoil any of the mechanics. I don't want to do that. I love doing these things blind on launch day, and I wouldn't want to deprive anybody of that. But we got just destroyed on the first boss on normal. I think we wiped 11 times on just the first boss.
I've been because I was on the sidelines, my badge doesn't get me. Well, I guess if I asked, it would have been whatever.
Yeah.
I was watching from outside the, I don't know what you call the things.
I don't know, the rope markers.
The rope markers,
I don't know.
Yeah, the blockers, whatever. It's like the invisible wall. And I was talking to people, some random people, some friends, and I was like, this group of people, they are some of the best players in all of Elder Scrolls Online. I was hyping, and I was like, they are gonna burn through this. It's
nope.
And then we talk, and I look over, and I just see 11 out of 12 people dead. And I'm like, okay. And then we talk with people, I look over, and it's just a full wipe. I look over, I go around, do stuff, come back.
So tragic.
Finn's having a great time. Everyone's 8 Puppies is trying to coordinate with Olibo, Lotus is there, Nephis is trying to explain something to someone. It's chaos. It's and Finn people were like, what's happening? And Finn was he was like, they're getting destroyed by the first one. What are you doing to these people?
He was so smug the entire time.
Yeah. And then he explained to everyone watching, this is unbalanced. Because people know as well, they, even if they are not super active with Twitch or YouTube or anything, when you see Nephis or whatever, you know what he can do. If you have played Elder Scrolls Online, you may have run into their guides, their tutorials, their builds.
ESO hub, everybody uses it. Skinny Cheeks GG, it's
So you kind of have an idea how good the group of people playing is. So Finn was constantly explaining to people that were watching you all play, this is before all balancing and stuff like that.
And it's we were just getting destroyed. And it was super fun, so it wasn't even frustrating. Figuring it out was definitely, they are new mechanics entirely. It's stuff that you'll recognize, but it's just new mechanics. So that's as much as I'll kind of explain on it. But it took us a while to piece together the new mechanics. I got the first part of the puzzle completely on accident. I thought I knew what I was doing and solved something different.
Oh, there you go.
So it wasn't even I figured this out. I was like, if I do this, see, it totally worked. Yeah, it worked because of a different thing. And I was like, well, all right. I mean, I guess it got us there. But then Nephis figured out part of it. And then 8 Puppies figured out part of it. But it was loud. We didn't have headsets. So we're trying to yell across the thing to each other. And it reminded me of an MLG event, which was hysterical. Yeah. Because at one point, trying to get through some of the stuff while we were getting there closer and closer and closer. And the margin of error for a normal trial, which again, I think to your point, it's probably just tuned to be whatever it okay, how hard is it? So let's rein it back.
I feel like this is what Finn would make all trials.
Yeah.
If he didn't have to make them playable.
Because it was just, everything actually worked in the fight. It wasn't buggy, but there was just no room for error.
Yeah.
And the problem was, while you're figuring it out, if one person screws up, we're like, I don't know how do we get to him because this is blowing up and now I need to pay attention to this and we're not used to any of this. So 8 gave up his spot to Lolly, who was he was like, just be the healer, and he straight up became our esports coach, and that's why he was running.
Was that why he was? I was like, why is? I thought he was dead. And was just like, because he was dead.
He gave up. He was like, I got to help coordinate. So he literally became our coach because we couldn't yell. Like, Nephis kept trying to yell to me what he figured out while I was trying to tell him what I figured out.
This was all happening while Matt Heafley from Trivium was doing a concert.
Yes. So
right
it wasn't
next to
quiet.
all of this. So, yeah.
And both had a crowd, which was also awkward.
Yeah. The time,
It was just so funny because every time I looked up, I was like, there's more people just watching us fail right now. And now there's more people watching us fail. And it's just like congregating and like...
Because it was like people were getting curious because originally it was just like a few people that knew what was happening already. And then people saw like something happening because they're like, whoa, you know, there's something happening there. You can see it from afar, even if you don't understand or hear it.
Yeah.
And then eventually more people came and then the crowd started to grow and people were watching with such intensity. It's like...
No pressure. But yeah, so we managed to get through the first boss, which was hysterical because people had mentioned that it got so loud. Well, we were super loud because we were so excited to beat a normal trial boss, you know, because that's impressive for us. But we were excited that we beat the normal trial boss. We all are freaking out. Everybody else is like screaming and yelling. Yeah. And it was right as Matt Heafy finished a song and they started cheering. And it was funny. We were like, that just made it so much louder because both groups started yelling. And I'm like, it is deafening in here.
And I was like, I didn't watch you all play constantly because I was chatting with people. I also love Trivium, so I was watching Matt Heafy as well. I actually was planning to bring my Metal Hellsinger t-shirt, but because we did the interview and they said like... So I was like, okay, I can't do an Elder Scrolls Online thing in a Metal Hellsinger t-shirt.
That's weird.
That would be weird, so I didn't bring it. But yeah, so I was watching it and then you all cheered in the background and I was like, oh, they cleared it. I went back. Finn was on the side. I was like, Finn, did they clear it? He was like, first boss.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, what are you doing to them?
It took us so long to beat first boss. Then we annihilated everything else. Like, apparently it was a mini boss, but we were so amped up. We just all parse monkeyed on the thing. It literally tried to do one mechanic and we deleted it off the planet because it was less complicated than the first one. But it started to move once and it just died. So it was like, it was a 12-second, like 16 million nuke, like instantly. And then we were trying to figure out a puzzle. And we're like, this is super different than anything else. But like, we thought we figured it out and nobody's doing it. And we're trying everything. And Skinny and I got our own idea on trying to do it. It's not working. I'm like, I don't know. I think it's this. And a bunch of people are like, I think it's that too. Yeah. And Finn was over with Nephis, I believe it was. And Nephis is like, I don't understand why I can't just do this. And Finn's like, well, you know, just do this and it'll work. And Nephis goes, how do I do that? And Finn looks at the bar and he goes, we didn't program that yet in this build.
Oh, great. Yeah, there you go.
Are you kidding? And he was like, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, it's not in the build. You guys are literally at the end of the functional part of the trial. And we're like,
there you go.
Well, at least we're not that stupid because we did figure it out, at least most of it. We haven't finished it, so I don't know if it's different at the top, but we were like, okay, that's a little satisfaction. Yeah. So we got through like a chunk of the trial. It's like, seems like we were at about the halfway point.
It was towards like the end of the event.
Literally,
so even
the
if
event
you had
ended.
gotten past, you wouldn't have time to continue.
Yeah, but it was super fun. And like I said, I love, they've had 8 Puppies do like the shoutcasting thing before. I wish they would kind of lean into that because it's been a long time since I've done like competitive gaming. Yeah. That is so much fun. It's so ridiculous and sort of stressful or whatever being like on stage for it.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun. And I'm glad like it seemed like everybody else was watching us just get annihilated over and over again. But yeah, big thumbs up on what I played of the new trial. I think everybody's going to enjoy it because it's pretty original, at least for the start of it.
And then there's the final boss.
Yeah.
Whatever this means, every time Finn talks about
final
it.
boss. Something about tying a knot.
Are we gonna fight like each other? Are we gonna fight ourselves? Like,
are we tying the knot? Do we need to just bring in Rings of Mara and we just get married at the end?
Is it like
That's
the
what it is.
final boss or final boss?
Where are the quotes? Right?
Yeah.
Shenanigans, Finn. But yeah, so that was super fun.
I got the people like everyone. I met Gina finally. Jess and Gina.
You finally got to meet Jess and Gina.
Yeah. I should have thanked Gina about never forgetting me in the US events.
I know.
I mean,
I know. Yeah, there were just so many people. I got to meet Ophelia finally. I had never met Ophelia.
I'm not even getting there because like I met Ninja, I met Dawn, I met Kay, I met Ophelia. We've been playing D&D for over 4 years together, and I had never gotten a chance to meet them. Like Ninja came in clutch. Like his passport, I think arrived like
I think Ninja and T got it like literally the week of.
I got to meet T as well.
Yeah, you got to meet T, but I'm pretty sure they both got it like the week of.
Yeah. So Ninja wrote like, "Oh, I'm coming," and we were going crazy. I mean, we got we met so many people. I mean, some of you all have met in the Vegas event.
The Vegas event.
Like with Zero Period, George, Ninja,
right.
Dev Team.
Yeah, the Fox Den. Like, they you know, and Nelly, they live near me. So, like, we bumped into each other at a couple things. Like, they go to the Ren Fair together and stuff like that. So, it's like, that's not, but like some people, it's like nowhere close to each other on the planet. Like,
and we met Kika. Finally.
Yes.
That was insane.
I know. Shout out to Kika for finding us.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her because we were doing the thingy, the thing.
Yeah. Also,
I don't even know if we're allowed to talk about it.
I don't know.
So it's the thing for now.
Yeah, that's the thing for now.
I did show up on the main Twitch stream.
Yes, you did. That was really funny. Donna interviewed you.
Yeah. It was like I perfectly exited that screen though. I checked back and like because we were supposed to like do a line and then and I did a perfect like I played exit
and into the darkness.
And it was like I checked the stream back and everyone in chat it's like arc. I'm like, oh shit, people know.
Well, so that's another thing that has been like we keep bringing up how surreal the idea is that like so many of you have come over and said hi to us and that like here's our story of why I love Tales, or this helps me get through my commute, or like, oh, I've been listening since the beginning, and you know I didn't hate when you guys took over. I actually liked the show even more, and like that to me is like wild. So kind of like thanks to all of you, because that was like I didn't know how to process all of that as so many of you came up to us, and I was like, hi.
I was like, because, see, I don't stream, and I don't go to events, and the podcast is the only thing we do, and we usually don't, like, we are not in the super spotlight either, because we just send out an audio version.
Right.
And then someone recognized us, I'm sorry I forgot your name, but someone recognized us from our voice. Came up to us like, wait, are you Lotus? And Arkhaniir was like, yeah. And I was hearing you, and I'm like, I'm not used to this feeling, and it feels so freaking good. So thank you all so much for like, if you were
Wadwo, I believe it was.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say he messaged us first. I'm pretty sure he was the one. If I'm wrong, also shout out to Wadwo. I'm pretty sure he was the one that recognized us by our voice. But if not, I was gonna say it's been like
insane.
It literally I can't comprehend it. So thank you.
People were like, "Oh, sorry for interrupting," and internally we are like, "Interrupting. This is the best feeling.
This is the greatest thing ever." Like interrupt away. So that was very very nice of all of you.
Yeah.
That was just like wild. What? It was the cheese.
The cheese.
Let's mention the cheese.
I still don't know what that's supposed to be. Like, why does it smell that way?
So in and amongst the medieval village, they had stalls set up like literal medieval stalls, like when you're in Whiterun, there's the whole back area.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. And those were our food and drink stands, which was really cool. And they had all Elder Scrolls themed foods. And one of them was a type of cheese.
Yeah.
And apparently, so when they heat it up, it's not the cheese that smells, it's the rind outside the cheese.
Because it gets burned constantly, I guess,
yes,
maybe. Yeah.
And it smells like shit.
It's I don't even know how to explain that smell. For a long time...
It made it smell like a medieval fair, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, for a long time, I thought that smell was the knights.
Yeah.
Because they are in, like, they just don't have a plate armor. They obviously have to wear, like, layers of the
padding
and everything
to absorb the
underneath.
impact.
So they have like 5 layers of armor on, and they are going heavy at it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is what knights in full plate armors fighting smell like.
Yeah.
That's what I was attributing it to.
And I mean, that
because
makes
like,
sense.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this feels like...
This is like really sweaty
sweat
combat. And it's
yeah.
not even like, oh, I spent an hour at the gym, I will be smelly, I'll go shower. It's like, this is a 10-hour event and you're taking like 1 hour breaks every 2 hours. Like,
yeah. So I was like, okay, that's that. And then we thought it was something else. And eventually, one of the devs, I think, said, like, no, that's the cheese. I was like,
yeah. Yeah. And then Pylon found out it was the rind that was like burning, that was the smell. Yeah. And then when we had our interview upstairs, people had said that the interview room for a thing they were doing was like extra stinky, like the smell was like raising up.
Rises.
And when we walked in, it was like, oh my God, I like dry heaved. I was like, oh my God, this is the worst.
Yeah.
Supposedly the cheese was good. I did not eat it. I didn't try. I did not
so
either.
I tried the chili bowl.
Yep.
But it's vegan, so it's easy for me.
Yeah.
And then I tried the chicken, and I tried the sweet roll.
Yep.
And I don't think I've tried anything else, to be honest.
Yeah, I did the chicken, which was good. I did a bunch of the sweet rolls, which were good. Apparently some were stale. I didn't get stale ones.
Like I think if you get them early,
I think they were baking them at the start of the day.
And then towards the end of the event, because they are standing outside,
right,
they get like drier.
That's probably exactly what it was. But those were really good. I had whatever that like frostbreak bun sandwich was.
Oh, the orcish.
Yeah, the orcish thing. That was really good.
They all had like in-game names and
they
actual like ingredients.
Yeah, they had the ingredients. That was really good.
It was like from Elder Scrolls Cookbook.
I think so.
Maybe it might have actually been.
It probably was. Yeah. That was really good. And I had that little like meat bun, the Telvanni
dumplings.
Telvanni dumplings. Yes. Yeah, those were really good too. They had like, I don't know, chicken and cabbage in it or something like that. That was really tasty. Yeah, that one was good too. But so the food was actually like really good as well. What else should we like cover?
Let's see. You did the feud.
I did we got wrecked in Family Feud. Okay, so there was a Family Feud thing. I heard that they didn't stream that, so this is just like...
I thought it would have been streamed. I'm glad I said that.
Yeah. No, I guess not. And it was just 4 teams, and it was just Family Feud. And so we had UESP and Tales of Tamriel as a team. And
they did that full shout out. I was like, oh snap.
Yeah. They asked if they could edit the name, and I was like, yeah, sure, if you want to. We sucked. We got crushed. What is it? What was it? Who crushed us?
The Scrolling Elders.
Scrolling Elders. So shout out to the Scrolling Elders. They messed us up. We won 1 round, they won 2 by massive landslides.
Yeah. I think you were approaching everything like super lore centric, but the answers were by the average community.
So that was exactly the thing. Was for Family Feud, you have to guess the most popular answers to things, and the community went in a real different direction than I thought they were going. I got 2 of my 3 on the board, at least. Yeah. They just weren't very high up. They were like right in the middle. And the one that George nailed it on, the one that we had head to head, I got it first. And in a tavern brawl, what food do you use?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, fishy sticks are super common. And it was like the 3rd or 4th answer.
Said cheese. Spanky and I were in the crowd
yelling
like,
cheese.
Cheese,
So-
you throw cheese.
So I said fishy sticks because I was like, that's a really common Elder Scrolls. He said sweet roll, which is clearly the better answer.
Oh, that was before cheese, that was the thing.
Yeah.
We didn't even do like sweet roll, because that was obviously the first answer.
And I was like,
And
oh
no-
my God. I was like,
Yeah.
that's clearly the best answer. And it totally was. But I will say, I'm very disappointed. How did none of you put bread? Aren't you all obsessed with Darien
I know,
and the
right?
damn
Yeah.
bread? Like,
Loaf of bread, potatoes.
yeah, that
like-
was the one I got wrong. Where
Yeah.
when I had a chance again, I was like, maybe we should do bread, and everybody agreed, and there was no bread. Shame.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, we got wrecked. We got annihilated.
I love how they put like the trial team versus the PvP team.
The trial
as
team
well.
versus the PvPers.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because they were both like, please don't put us against the UESP and then ask us a shitload of lore questions. And I was like, this isn't really the game type for lore questions.
Yeah, because it's like.
Here's
I
a
guess
question.
the concept is, here's a question, and then a bunch of people answer, and they put that into a stat thing.
Yeah, you're guessing how the audience reacts.
Yeah.
You're not answering anything.
So if
You could
you're-
know nothing except like, oh, I've heard this name. Maybe the community knows this. And you could just be right.
Yeah.
Like,
So if your answer is something like, oh, so in the first era, before it's like, you go deep into the lore, that no one's gonna know that.
Right.
So it's
Well,
a popularity thing.
one of the ones, what do you do when your raid lead yells at you?
Oh yeah.
And the number one answer
We
was
were-
cry.
We were crying again. Like we were like cry.
Yeah.
That's you cry.
Though the other one, what's the most popular? Where do you hang out the most in Elder Scrolls
That was the
Online?
difficult one.
And it was funny because like I thought Mournhold would be way higher up than it was, and I was like, oh crap, that was my guess was Mournhold. And as they were ending that one, I was like, wait a minute, if we're playing the audience, I was like, is it my house? And somebody had my house. I was like, oh my God, I did
Also,
not
like,
play the audience.
Just think like wherever is the crowd, the most crowded in ESO. You got like Mournhold, you got Leavin, you got Vivek City.
Yeah.
Which, Vivek City you got. I think
Yeah,
Vic got it.
yeah. I was gonna say Shifty got Vivek City. That was probably our highest
They
answer.
said Blackwood, and then
Yeah, and they
you
got
said
Leawin.
Vivek City, which was higher. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, it was just like because I was like, oh, Mournhold is definitely going to be one, and it was like that one was like pretty far down.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so Mournhold,
that's like the major.
Valaka, Rimmen was on it.
Rimmen,
My
I was
house.
like,
I
and
don't
my
know
house
what-
was funny.
Was the My House for? It was second, I think.
I think it was
wasn't the
second or
first.
third. It was pretty high up.
Alinor.
Alinor, I'm like, who the hell hangs out in Alinor? Well, whatever. It's not our zone.
yeah,
it's not our zone. That's
I
fine.
said like Riften.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't even on the answers. Like,
No, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, we didn't do so hot. So
we were also given stuff.
we were given
One of which is this.
closest to Ark.
I now have another Guar.
You sure do.
I now have another Guar. I already have a Guar plushie, and now I have another Guar plushie.
But he's got a hat.
It does have the Cadwell hat. So, I mean, it's sort of acceptable in that sense. Because, and Bantam Guar, I've always been on the fence about.
Yeah.
Because, see,
Part chicken, part
part
guar.
chicken, and they don't really look
Yeah.
like Guar.
Yeah.
So it's like,
He just barely scoots
at
by.
worst, you could treat it like a chicken and
Yeah.
eat it.
Yeah, that's-
I feel like.
Well,
So-
doesn't it drop poultry when you?
yeah, it does.
So it's literally chicken.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
It has some other stuff. It has a coloring book. It has a massive duffel bag.
Yeah.
Which I'm also have to bring back.
Yeah, it's another bag.
Another bag that I'm bringing
Yeah,
back.
another bag.
Yeah. And then I have another bag that I'm bringing back.
Yeah.
Because finally, so you got stuff for me at ESO Vegas.
Yes, they saved you. They saved you a swag bag. My
and
wife
I really
picked it up.
appreciate it. Again, Jess, I should have. I really wanted to thank you at this event, but we got really such a short time to chat, and then at the end of the event, everyone was dying, so I didn't want to like hold everyone too much. But thank you for never forgetting about me through this guy at the US events that I'm not able to go to, except you know what, 2025.
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
say,
doing
yet.
it.
There it is.
But yeah, so we tried to ship this to Turkey. Didn't work.
Didn't
We
work.
tried to ship this to Netherlands. Didn't work.
Didn't work.
Went back. Lotus, like a Skyrim courier, brought it to Netherlands in person. So it works. Like,
It got there eventually.
I still haven't opened it.
I know.
The whole reason I haven't checked any of my bags this entire event because I wanted to see what's inside first while we are doing this. So
And you do have a couple very like specific. One thing I added. Another thing, it's very obvious that Gwen added.
Okay.
And then there's the actual event stuff. I don't remember if there's anything outside the normal event stuff in those two.
Since we mentioned Gwen, before I look inside, Gwen's Obnortharn
Costume.
bonkers.
5 stars.
Yeah.
That looked so uncomfortable, but it was so good looking.
When I realized it was Gwen, I went up to her. I was like, Gwen, is that you? And she just was able to nod.
Yeah. I was going to say.
But it was so lookalike.
It was
insane.
really
and
well
since
done.
Obnortharn is my favorite of the 5 companions.
Right.
Even though people hate him for how sassy he is.
Well, it's
I love it.
It's a mixed bag. People either love him or hate him.
Yeah, I'm on the loving crowd. So this one's an Elder Scrolls Online sort of like a slingback, which is honestly, I wish I had this the whole event.
Yeah, that thing's
this
really
is perfect
nice.
for the camera, the equipment.
Yeah.
It would have helped me reduce everything to one bag. And then, okay, we are opening this up. All right, so we are starting with another bag. This is legit another bag.
It's a bag in a bag.
Oh my god. Okay, so I have another. Oh, it's like a satchel.
Yeah, it's a companion satchel.
Yo.
So that's one of the ones. That's actually from a loot crate.
Really?
And I figured it would be more fitting for you
Oh
because
my
it was a
God,
companion's one. So
dude,
Yeah.
I've been wanting Whiterun and companions for so long.
So that's why I specifically added that one.
Like, oh my god, this is. Oh man, I appreciate this. This is great.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We are gonna.
Yeah.
So these are. I'm not gonna unroll these too much because I fear I'll. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna unroll this.
Yeah, it's a full. It's a full fabric map. That's from PAX East. That's the other
my
one that I
God.
got.
Okay, this is. Dude.
Yeah. So those are the 2 that I provided.
You know what? I'm so glad I brought this thing, which I put the stickers in, and it's a solid, like.
So you can wrap it around.
Wrap it and put it in.
Hell
So it's
yeah.
safe.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm so glad see, this is why I carried a 15-kilogram backpack
There
to
you
this
go.
event.
Yeah,
So I can have shit like this with me just in case. Oh my god, okay.
Yeah. So those are my 2 additions.
Dude, I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't know how I'm sounding, by the way, because I put the thing on my neck,
we'll
but
find out
I guess
later.
it will be fine, yeah.
Okay, so this is the thing from the event.
Oh, snap!
Yeah, it's a mini version.
Had I known that I had this, I would have had this signed by everyone, like you do.
I forgot it was in there. I would have given you a heads up. I totally forgot it was in there.
This has been, like, I think it's been a year since
actually,
you've been trying to get this to me.
Yep.
So
yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, actually, I'm almost positive it is.
All right,
So yeah, it's been a year. That's fine.
Yeah. All right. What is this?
It's an Elder Scrolls metallic mug.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep.
Hermamora book club.
Yeah, so that's from Gwen.
Oh, that's great. Look at this. I don't know how visible that is, but I'm so tired. I'm like, I'm getting up every time. All of these I'll photograph anyway.
Yeah. I think these might be from people. Yeah.
Elder Heroes.
Yeah, this is an Elder Heroes thing.
Elder Heroes
There's an
and
Extra Life
Extra
one.
Life.
Yeah, since you don't ever get to get this stuff because it's not outside the US.
Like, I've never mentioned it, but these like things that they send out for doing Extra Life, I love them.
So
dude,
yeah,
thank you.
I kind of forgot I put some of these random things in here. And I was like, oh, you don't
I got an Extra Life pin. Oh, this makes me so happy. This pin makes me so happy. Like,
yep. So, I think that's your custom coin from the event.
That might be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the custom coin.
Hold on, let me. Yep.
Yep.
It's the Hermamora.
Yeah.
Oh, these are cool.
Yep.
I'm glad I traded my keycaps for like a coin box thing.
Yeah.
Pylon. Yeah. That was a
that seems like a good trade. That seems like a good trade.
I wanted the keycaps. So I was like, I wanted that coin back thing. It's like, I have the coin back thing. I have the keycaps.
Perfect.
Some may call this John. Me, I call them treasures. We got
Imperial. Oh yeah, I remember that. I forget what that's from.
Yeah, this is such a Ranger item.
It's such a Ranger item.
If I ever see him,
we should relay that to Ranger. I think there's some USB stickers. Yeah.
Those are always nice.
Yeah, I think those are left over.
Oh,
this is the custom thing from Gwen.
It.
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah. That's why
I only have the digital version of it. We posted this, or rather I posted it. This is the drawing of me that Gwen did. And for some reason, because I never get these stuff in person.
Yes.
For some reason, my brain never really registered that there would be a physical
That's why I was really upset that I thought it got lost in the mail originally. Even with all of this stuff, I was like, because that can't be replaced.
Yeah, like these are like produced.
Yeah, there's a literal one. There's one drawing. So that's why I was like, oh no. And then when it showed back up, I was like, okay, good, it's back.
Oh, this is amazing. And the date on this is 2022. We are in 2024 at the time of recording this. That's how insane this event was for me. Like all this, but this was drawn for me by Gwen the Bard, who does Snug Post, by the way, Snug podcast.
Yep.
Words
are hard.
And like in 2022, and because of we are spread out globally, I got this in 2024. And it was thanks to this like 10th year event where we all gathered up from all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's freaking mind blowing.
Yep.
Like, this is amazing. I wish I had like when they asked us like what this all means to you. This is what it means.
I know.
Like,
it's
the fact that this drawing of me made it from US to Netherlands where we got to meet in 2 years.
Yep.
And it made it intact. Like, oh my god, this whole thing is.
That's why I was like, this has to get to you at some point in life. Like,
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And I think you have one last thing in here.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Is this like, yeah. All right, I got you. This was Allison put the effort in. It's just like I don't know. I forget what it is exactly. I think it's like
It says ink box.
Yeah, I think it's like a temp tattoo, but it looks like a art piece. And it's alliance based.
Oh.
So we specifically.
So this is the prime wipe. So
you have to.
Yeah.
So I keep mine on my shelf because it actually shows up in the background pretty well as like. But
probably the same.
We specifically got the Ebonheart one. I was thinking of trolling you originally and getting you the.
I see. Yeah.
I almost got you a Dominion one just to be a troll, but I was like, you know what?
How temporary is this, I wonder?
I don't know.
Because it's just big enough that I could just slap it on my forehead. Like, imagine I arrive at ESO Vegas 2025 and I just slap this on my forehead.
And just don't acknowledge it. Like
just like
what's the problem?
Yeah, people are like, "What's on your forehead? What do you mean?"
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
it was just a long flight.
I actually might, honestly.
That would be really funny. But yeah, so your ESO bag finally arrived.
Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, all in all, like everyone we met from the dev team, and again, every time I meet them, it's like we know them for years.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point
we do.
But it was the same when we didn't.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly.
When the game was super fresh.
Right.
It's again like meeting Finn. Finn is always a great fun to chat with. He's very goofy like everyone else.
No, they seem like they're having just a super good time.
Yeah.
Like
Rich, same, takes the time to chat and everything. I'm upset I didn't get to chat with Gina, but she was always on stage. She was like 95% of the time.
She's almost always like her, Amy, they're just always coordinating everything. So it's like
oh wait, because I talked to Jess at the very beginning before everyone even got in, I think. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did talk to Jess. Okay, that makes me happy now. I still don't remember if I thanked her, but I
don't remember things from like 3 hours ago at this point.
And then I actually got a picture with Matt Fire now.
Yes.
Out of everyone in the community, in the streamer teams, in the developers, I met Matt Fire the most. Because he shows up at like developer conferences as well, like DevCon, Gamescom, Reboot Develop. But every time he looks so busy. Like at Gamescom, I ran into him in the business area. He was just eating a burrito, and I didn't want to like. I just said like, "Oh hi, like I'm Ark, and
Right.
big fan." But I didn't want to like. Can you take a
put your
photo
food
while
down
you are
while you're
munching
on break?
down on a burrito?
Right.
It's like, but this time I was like, I've met you so many times. Like, can we take a photo?
Yeah.
Like, this time he's always super.
No, he's a
about
super
it.
chill dude too.
Yeah. I forgot to get a signature on this steel case though.
Oh.
I got Gina out of every.
Every-
I already had CJ, Finn, and Rich.
Yep.
And I got Gina's.
Yep.
And everyone else because it's like it's
chaos. It's
you
literal
disappear
chaos.
so fast too. You do it and everyone else does it. Like I'm talking
Yes.
to Lotus and we got Pylon, right? And we look like this. We look back, Pylon's gone because he either has something to do or like someone drags him away.
That's the thing is like you're either here on a business style something, but it's also meant to be fun. So it's like you're trying to interact, but at the same time, it's like when we're like, okay, we've got this appointment for this thing, but then we've got to do this, and I've got to be here for this one, but you're free for this one, but then you've got something here, and I'm free for this one. It's like, we'll just meet up after that, and then find the guy coordinating the thing. It's like easier said than done.
Up in a hotel room recording.
Yeah, and then in the end, it's like we got to record here because this is just not gonna fucking happen.
But yeah, so that's why I was like, I got to chat to them, but and I forget as well. Like I'm chatting to them, and it's like. I had this camera on my neck for 2 days, and it's not a light camera. It's small, but it's heavy.
Yeah, it's dense.
And I had it on me the whole 2 days. I think I took like 5 pictures.
Nailed it.
And like 3 videos. Because I keep forgetting until someone says like, "Oh, we should like take a photo." I'm like, "Oh, I'm carrying a camera."
Yeah.
But I mean. This was the whole main reason I got this. So I actually like we'll see how this sounds and everything.
Yeah, hopefully this sounds somewhat listenable.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
They're recording into separate channels and it's good.
Yeah, so hopefully this works out well so that everybody gets their bonus
is a once
episode.
in a lifetime thing for not anymore. Screw that.
Screw that. Now you're going to the US.
From now on, I'm flying around. Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Does that?
I think that's
our recap.
I think that's our
ESO10 recap. Yeah, this has been quite the experience to say the least. This whole I really enjoy the whole 10-year thing that they're doing, but it's like, man, this game is real different than anything else I've ever been involved with.
It is like World of Warcraft does events, right?
Absolutely.
BlizzCon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the biggest conventions ever.
Final Fantasy has one.
Final Fantasy has it.
Yeah.
I honestly, I've never seen anything from them at the level of
chaos
family
that this is.
feeling.
Yeah, it's just like everybody's just so happy to be there.
It's like everyone I met, it's just like hugs and like, oh snap, like it's great.
Our plane flight in. We ended up on the same flight with Wes Johnson, who recognized us and was like, "Hey, we should get a picture." And I'm like, "You're the guy that we usually do." And it was like he made a joke because we saw him. We're like, that looks kind of like Wes Johnson. And then he mentioned, I think it was to Pain in the Axe. He was like, "Oh, I like your hoodie." And he's like, "Oh yeah, we're going to the Elder Scrolls convention." He's like, "All right, this is really awkward." He's like, "You look a lot like Wes Johnson." And he's like, "I am Wes Johnson." And we're like, "Oh shit, it's Wes Johnson."
I mean, like, in what other community do you get it? Maybe they do, and we don't see it.
Maybe.
But to me, it feels like ESO is, and I'm sappy about it as well, because like, I've given this game my 10 years. I've made some of, like, back then, before I started ESO, I never would have thought, like, oh, I'll call someone 7,000 miles away that I've never met in my life, one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
And like actually trust them with every information in my life.
Yeah, I was the amount of time that we just like, oh yeah, no, here's my address, here's this. If you need my phone, here's this. It's gonna double send because we're 7,000 miles away.
Like, here's my ESO. I asked Braun
to log in for you.
To log in for me to send a crown crate to Martha.
Right.
Because I was like, I don't want to wait until I'm back from the event. And I was like, yeah, I can just ask them because I trust them 100% with everything.
Right. It's just because, again, we just act like a big family.
Yeah.
Like, it's why. It's like the hashtag sappy, but it's not inaccurate for the most part.
So it's like, and meeting, you know, the UK team, you know, Kay, Dawn, Ophelia, like, this whole thing started because of Ophelia for me. The reason I became a streamer, because she was doing a lore quiz stream on Morrowind. This was back in like 2015.
Yeah, that was
And I was scrolling through Twitch, and up until that point, Twitch had no meaning for me.
Yeah.
The only thing I've ever watched on Twitch up until that point, and I got to it because I was in university and I had time between my classes and I got bored and I wanted to play ESO and I couldn't play ESO. So I was like, okay, well, this Twitch thing, apparently like people play it and you can watch it.
Yeah.
So, and it's not like YouTube. So I just went on it and I was scrolling down and I was like, lore quiz. And I was like, lore, I trust my lore capabilities. Because back then, I didn't know the level of lore.
How deep this series got.
How deep the rabbit hole goes. So I joined the stream and I was answering the question. I was like, wait, holy shit, this feels nice.
Yeah.
Like everyone in chat was like, they were trolling each other, but in my favorite way.
Yeah, in a fun way.
Everybody trolls me.
Right.
It's like
right.
Like I was like, oh snap, this is super nice. And then I watched the Naked Arkhaniir run by the Quest Gaming Network, that Elder Scrolls Off the Record. I was like, oh shit, what is this? This is like absolutely amazing. And then from there, it was like, oh, so there's a thing called podcast. And I looked more, and I was like, oh, Tales of Tamriel.
Yep.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So
and
it's like a cascading effect.
It is, because it's like, I still remember, like, my thing was, I was like, oh man, like, I was super obsessed with, like, I was like, oh, this game is, like, really fun. I came because I was a Morrowind fan, and I loved each subsequent one, but I was like, oh man, a multiplayer one. And then once it kind of ironed out some of the kinks at the start, and it was like, okay, well, now it's not a paid requirement. It's an optional sub, and it's coming to console. So it's like, oh, I can play it more regularly if it's on console too. So I was like, all right, well, this is fun. And then I started to really get it. I was like, oh man, this is really, like, I really like this. But I was like, man, when I'm at work, I wish I could, like, just even hear something on it.
Yeah.
And that was where I ended up finding, like, oh, I found Elder Scrolls Off the Record. And they were like the original one. And I was like, oh, this one started just after Elder Scrolls Off the Record. Like, this is Tales of Tamriel. I was like, oh, no, I have two of them. So I was listening to both. I was like, dude, I get like 7 hours. I was like, that's like a full work day each week that I can just listen to something about the game that I like. And then fast forward to many years later, we're now the longest running version. Yeah. And I'm on the show. With the longest episodes. And now we're both hosts of the show that we both listen to.
And now we are in a hotel room. Yeah. In a country neither of us are familiar with.
Correct.
It's like, what is
so weird.
Yeah.
So weird. And all because of an MMO.
Yeah. That one like, we could have picked up anything else.
Yeah.
We could have been like, because I didn't like MMORPGs. You don't like MMORPGs.
I don't like MMORPGs. I found out as I tried a couple others.
I still don't play anything else but ESO. So I guess I don't like MMORPGs.
Yeah, I tried a couple and I was like, nope, not for me.
So like we could have very easily said, like, I know it's Elder Scrolls, but
this isn't for me. Or I bailed right at the start.
Yeah, or would have played just the solo, like, story.
Never branched out.
Never really got involved with the community. Yeah. And that one random decision of, like, I'll try this game.
Right, because I was going to say, what if I stuck with Call of Duty as my main game?
Yeah.
Or, like, it's like...
That's why I say, like, this Elder Scrolls Online really changed me in a better way.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I wasn't exposed to this global community and stayed with the, you know, toxic competitive online stuff, who knows what kind of person I may have ended up. Like,
I know.
Because it's like, I was 20 when I started ESO. So, like, that's when I'm, like, getting influenced by a lot of things.
And that's funny you say that, because, like, I'm like, I had joked during the interview thing that I'm like, well, I just learned to, like, listen better. Because I was like, dude, like, I was not, like, even my teammates when we would do, like, semi-pro stuff, it was like, fuck you, you screwed up, you piece of garbage. And it's like, dude, when I run raids, it's like, no, this is supposed to be fun. Like, this is supposed to be enjoyable. Not like this hyper-toxic thing where it's like, well, I'm glad that's over. It's like, it's supposed to be fun. Like, not terrible.
So, yeah. Once again, I mean, thank you, everyone.
I know.
And I just don't mean the listeners, but literally everybody involved with ESO.
Yeah, and to be fair, if it wasn't for all of you listening and watching our stupid crap, this just wouldn't be a thing we could do. So Bethesda wouldn't know who we were. ZeniMax wouldn't know who we were. So why would they send people out to these things if it's like, what's a podcast? And like,
exactly.
And it's like, you know, and Gina for acknowledging the stuff that we do. And she's like, no, you guys are like around, and UESP for joining with us and making it even more like now it's like, oh, you've either heard of one or both of the names involved. Yeah. People know Tales of Tamriel or UESP, or they probably just know both at this point. And it's like, that's like really humbling that stuff is like so well known to everybody. And honestly, even the reason, I mean, Tom wasn't able to come here, robots, but like when we joined with him for like kind of releasing everything.
Ridiculously helpful.
Super helpful. And the thing is, it's like he asked me to join him for, he's like, hey, would you be interested in doing like a lore focus show instead of like a community news show about the game? And we'll just do the whole series. It's like, yeah, you know what? I would like to make some time for that. That'll be fun because I can learn some new stuff. And then that show caught on and people love that show too. And I'm like, this is wild. Like everybody is so supportive. I don't really understand sometimes why, but I'm glad everybody enjoys it as much as I kind of don't like listening to my own voice. I'm glad that it doesn't drive everybody else nuts because editing my own stuff, I'm like, man.
I got used to it over the years.
Yeah.
I made my peace with it.
I still, nope. Not a chance.
Well, actually, the thing is, I'm used to my English voice. I am so not used to my Turkish voice.
Your Turkish voice?
It's completely different if I hear it on camera.
That's
or like a
really
recording,
funny.
I'm like, oh God, what is this?
What?
But English, I think I don't know, like I go deeper or something with English.
Also,
it's so strange. But if I hear myself in Turkish, I'm like, oh God.
Oh, what is that? Yeah, and that maybe. Well, at this point, how often do you edit yourself in Turkish as opposed to English?
But every now and then, it's like, but like if I'm testing equipment, for example, with friends or whatnot, we say like Turkish stuff or just chatting, or if someone's recording something at like a family gathering, and I'm speaking and I hear myself back, I'm like, oh,
that's weird.
Is that how I normally
sound? I know, that's funny.
I would not have been a good podcaster at all. That's like
hilarious.
Yeah. How long have we been going?
I have no idea. This is a typical way to do stuff.
Yeah. Because we said like, 30 minutes. Like we'll just record something at the hotel, and
it is 7:46.
We are definitely going over an hour.
Yeah, this wasn't even. That's
definitely going over an hour. So I guess we can. Wrap
then we can go eat. Food is good. Food is good. Yeah, I could go for food. So I hope everybody enjoyed our kind of impromptu episode. I had fun. This has been so much fun, and we'll just have to do it again. Yeah.
Should we do the outro?
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I was
going to say, maybe combined we can actually do that. It's weird how we do this so much without notes, but then when there's a couple points, it's like, shit, I need the notes.
All right, so as usual then, where can people find you?
You can find me at Lotus of Doom pretty much anywhere, or over at the Elder Scrolls Lorecast over on robotsradio.net, or for a few more hours in Amsterdam.
Exactly, yeah. Like Netherlands.
Yeah, the Netherlands.
Roaming the city.
Yep, we're going to go explore and get some food.
Yeah. And for me, you can find me anywhere. That is Arkhaniir, Arkhaniir. I actually got my Twitch name back too. So now it's officially twitch.tv/Arkhaniir again. That Twitch channel went through like Dungeon Crawler Network, Arkhaniir's Quest, Arkhaniir. It's getting shorter every time.
Soon it'll just be A.
Yeah. As for the show, as always, you can follow everything we do over at talesoftamrielpodcast.com. There you can find links to all of our social media and content. Be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/UESP if you want to help support the show and earn awesome Elder Scrolls themed rewards. And I say awesome because they just revealed some of the new...
Yeah, they did. Check them out.
2024 rewards there, and they are good. Mm-hmm. You can also consider leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes.
Don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. So people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and we do actually exist.
It's true. We're both here.
We will see you all on the next episode. Thank you all so much for joining us in person and for this special episode and all the episodes before and after. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magic effused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.
This is kind of going to be the best we can do on a very unique situation.
Honestly, this might end up being better than everything we've done. It's like, because we are finally in the same room.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be weird.
Okay, I think I'm in. Actually, I'm gonna check one more time to make sure this is in.
Actually works.
Yeah. Or can you sit there? So
Yeah, I'll just sit exactly where I am if you need.
No, like switch there so I can see you on camera.
Yeah, make sure it's like, where would you be in the shot? Sure.
Yeah.
So if this is Ark, I'm currently Ark, being Ark.
All right, now switch back to where you were.
Okay. That would be over here.
All right, perfect.
Seem good?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Is it recording?
Is it easy enough?
It is recording.
Oh, grab your thingy.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because that's why we can compare these. Because that's why I feel like this is worth noting the comparison.
Yeah.
Because they're both cool, but in different ways. And I like the Alliance thing is just such a neat touch. Mainly because I don't remember the Alliance war an awful lot anymore.
People are too nice now.
I know. Nobody wants to fight.
In our time.
I know. Everybody was fighting.
We used to mess up our friendships.
And a guild over what you join.